Good morning, it's Lorinda here. So I wanted to give you a little tour of my garden today. It's spring, we've had some rain, things are blooming, it's beautiful. I've been working on it a lot since we've been home. So I wanted to take you guys on a little tour. So just hang with me, here we go. So first, we're gonna start from when you enter out my ugly old back door. And I have some cucumbers that are started, a cilantro plant that is bolted, which means it's starting to go to seed. And once it does, the plant's kind of done. But I'm looking forward to collecting all those seeds. I got some herbs, I got some rosemary, some mint, some thyme in the back. And I have these beautiful variegated roses that my friend Natalie gave me after my sister passed in 2017. And they are still going, they are still blooming. Look at how pretty these are. They're gorgeous. I love those roses. And they had aphids, but I took care of the problem. You're gonna laugh at me, but I got a lighter and lit them to the aphids. And I guess they never came back. So that's a good thing. Just some plants. I have a lot of plants. My plant collection has kind of gotten crazy, but I love succulents and any kind of plant. Those are some petunias down there, more succulents, and all these I planted myself. I didn't buy the container with the plants in it. I put them in there myself because I like doing it. It's so much fun. Some nasturtiums. Those are edible if you didn't know that. I want to show you guys my little garden cart where I plant all my plants up here. This little bin fits in this cart perfectly, which I found at a yard sale years ago. And now I use it for my garden cart, and I just zip tied a little basket to it, and it was kind of cool with it. I could take it anywhere in the garden and pot things up, so it's like mobile, which is awesome. This beautiful little hutch here I just bought secondhand a couple of weeks ago. Got a really great deal on it, and I needed a spot to store like all my garden crap and my plants, so I got some plants here. These are some succulents that I've been propagating that I need to pot up. If you look closely, you can see each little leaf has like a little bud that starts. So all you do is pick off a leaf and put it on top of some soil, and then in a month or so it starts sprouting a whole new plant, and then you can pot it up. So some of these are ready to be potted up, so I'm gonna do that hopefully later today. Some other plants that I've started that need to go in the ground. Some really pretty succulents that I just potted up. So this little pot here, I dropped yesterday when I was putting my pots, and it's broken. It broke in half. So I just kind of stuck it right there, and I think it kind of looks cool. The other half's over here. So it kind of looks like a pot within a pot. But look at how pretty this succulent is. It's like fuzzy. I don't even know what it's called, but it's so pretty. And that one's kind of fuzzy too. There's some nettle. I don't know if you guys have heard of stinging nettle. It's a weed in some areas, but it is the most nutritious herb on the planet. And I'm hoping to make it into a tea when it gets bigger, because it's supposed to be really good for you. And some stevia for us diabetics, and some other plants and stuff. All my garden junk. So I guess we'll start this way. I just barely potted these pots up yesterday. They took an entire bag of soil, a lot of soil. I'm going to put some cucumbers in there. Nothing has been planted in them yet, but tomatoes going to go there. Some more plants. Oh, there's my lizard friend. I don't know if you can see him right there. I have lizards that live behind this sign and behind my clock over there. Daisy loves barking at them. This is a new little planter trough thing that I just gotten recently that I'm going to put melons in. I planted a Celery melon in here and some cantaloupes. And some sprouts have come up. So hopefully I'll have a lot of goodies soon. This is my little seating area where I like to relax and get out of the sun with my umbrella here. And it's solar. It has lights too. It's pretty cool. It charges all day, and then I can turn it on at night. It's not super bright, but it's enough. Excuse my wobbly hands here. Got some more plants. I wanted to show you these. This is a clematis, the one that I bought that almost died. I almost threw out many times. And look at how beautiful and big those blooms are. Like, compared to my hand, these things are huge and they're so pretty. It put on a bunch of blooms, but I don't see any more buds. So I don't know if it's done. Usually it'll vine out a lot more. I was hoping it would like completely climb this little trellis I have here, but it hasn't, so I'm kind of worried. But we'll see. Maybe it just does a little bit at a time every year. I do not know. More petunias, plants. We'll go back around over here. My little strawberry tower, I got at Aldi. Strawberries on it. Tomatoes. Those are some chives down there with another little tomato plant starting. Those are some big Alicio Craig onions. There's supposed to be a giant bulbing onion. We'll see if they bulb up for me. I don't know. But I'm excited to grow those. This tomato plant is over a year old. I planted this in January of 2018 and it stopped producing maybe around November. And then I just kept clipping off the dead and the spotted, which is probably either blight or you know, from the cold. And then it just came back. So I have a couple of tomato plants that just came back and started producing tomatoes, which is super cool because it's like I got a head start on this tomato. My little garden boots. Got some radishes here that need to be picked. This is a beautiful rose that I bought. It's supposed to be really fragrant. That is a climbing rose that is supposed to climb this trellis. Got some strawberries here. I got a tomatillo that is not doing too well. It's given me a lot of tomatillos, but it's got like powdery mildew. I might just rip it out and put something else there. That's a hollyhock that I planted that was doing good, but it stopped growing, so I don't know if something's up. A basil I just planted. This is sage. Look at how pretty the flowers are on sage. I never even realized they produce such pretty flowers. But this sage is so fragrant. And if you dry it and, you know, light it and walk it around your house, it gets rid of the bad juju. An onion, and those are some zinnias that I planted in there that have popped up. Those are some ground cherries back there I just planted. I planted some dragon tongue bush beans in here, but they haven't sprouted yet. This is my pomegranate tree. It's going crazy. It needs to be pruned really bad. That's a snake I have in my tree, so to scare away the birds, but it's gotten buried by the new growth, so I need to readjust it. And it does work, believe it or not. These pomegranates are starting. I'm so excited. That's a pepper plant that is over a year old as well. It's starting to produce little flowers again, so I'm excited about that. This is some garlic there. This is bitter melon. If you've ever grown bitter melon, it's supposed to be really good for diabetics. So I started to grow those. This is a rare Chinese or Japanese white bitter melon. So hopefully it does good. It was very expensive for only 5 seeds. So we'll see. Some strawberries that are kind of a volunteer. I planted 30 plants like 2 years ago and only one took, and I just let that one go, and this is what's become of it after 2 years of one little strawberry crown. So, but the pill bugs get to them before I do. Damn roly-polies, they eat up all my goodies. Some daisies, some hanging baskets, more nasturtiums, jalapeno plant right there, a little succulent garden I had started that I'm hoping to put some of those newly propagated succulents in here because some of the ones I did put in here died. A tomato plant. Now this bowl I put in the tomato plant. The roly-polies are getting to everything, so I put it around the tomato plant to keep the roly-polies away from eating the stems. Because I planted a tomato plant here and then I came out the next day and it was flopped over, completely eaten through the stem. So hopefully this helps. So far so good. It's been about 5 days with this little dome, and it's just a Tupperware that I lost the lid to that I drilled a hole in the bottom. So I thought I would use that. Some peonies. I might not get any blooms this year, but maybe next year if it survives. But see the roly-poly damage? This was an echinacea, and it's just been eaten by the bugs. Now this is my espaliered apple tree. I'm really excited about it. Each branch is a different kind of apple. And I just got this year and planted it. We got Gravestine apple, Fuji, Gala, and Summered apple. But look, I got little apples that have started. So I'm gonna get some apples this year. Super cool. This is the only branch though that has apple buds on it. The rest of them flowered, but I don't see any more buds or little apples. Oh yeah, look. There are some apples right there too. Okay, I didn't see those ones. Exciting. And those are some tulips I just planted right there that have just started to come up. I thought they weren't going to make it, but they sprouted. So I'm excited for those to bloom because they're supposed to be really pretty purple and white variegation. So I'm excited about those. Okay, so this is my big bed. A little zigzag pattern. But I got some geraniums, some volunteer daisies I just let go. And these are my carrots. Look at how cool. Look at all these carrots. Carrots take a while. It's probably been about maybe 2.5 months, almost 3 months. And I pulled one just to see how they were doing. And it came out really cool. So I am going to pull one up right now and see what happens. So let's see. Let's see down here. Let's see. Oh, there's a big guy right there. I'm going to pull him up and see what we get. Oh my goodness. I have a carrot with a second leg. But isn't that cool? So exciting. So I'm going to probably be harvesting the rest of these carrots this weekend. And trim them up, bag them up, and we're going to be eating carrots a lot this next week or so. Super exciting. This is some hollyhocks that I planted that I hope bloom this year. They're doing good. They were just bare root. So we'll see. This is some elephant garlic, giant bulbs of garlic. These are some pepper plants that I planted up. Some giant Spanish mammoth peppers, some yellow monster peppers. That pepper back there, I bought at Aldi. It's just a regular red bell pepper. But you can see how much bigger it is than my little plants. So hopefully I'll get some peppers soon because that's my favorite thing to grow are peppers. We eat a lot of peppers in my house. So I can't wait for the peppers, but they do take a while. And what really helps speed them up is warm weather. Our weather here in California has been so cold. And so as soon as it warms up really good, they should just flourish. These are some more onions that I planted that are bulbing. More garlic. This is, what is this? I forgot. Oh, it's an eggplant. A little Chinese eggplant. That's right. And I think I have some eggplants on there somewhere. I seen one. We got some more garlic over here, some flowers, some lilac that's about to bloom. And when this does, it's loaded with butterflies and pollinators. I love it, and it smells so good. These are some cluster sunflowers, lemon queen sunflowers that have sprouted up there. I do not know yet what I'm going to put up this trellis. I think I'm going to put maybe some melons, maybe cantaloupe, because cantaloupe vines, as long as the melons are supported, they'll be fine. And I have supporting bags, so I think I'm going to do that. This year I was planning to start a lot of vegetables and fruits for the Orange County Fair to enter, but I don't think the fair is going to happen this year because of COVID-19. So I don't need to grow all that extra stuff that I had planned on. So I have a lot more space to grow this year for stuff that I really eat, like the tomatoes and the cucumbers. So here I'm going to plant some cucumbers. Haven't yet. There's an issue I'll tell you in a bit. Some kale that is bolted and gone to flower and will seed. But it's funny, the flowers, they taste just like broccoli, which is really cool. This is a longevity spinach, aka insulina plant. It's really good for diabetics. I eat it raw, like in salads. It tastes really good. You can saute it. And I also boil it and make it into a tea and drink it. And it really helps regulate your blood sugar. This is a little area I'm going to plant a spaghetti squash. Haven't yet. My little sleeping gnome. Mimi's time. My lemon tree. Oh, and these little traps here are a must for anybody with a citrus tree. They attract the leaf miners that eat the leaves of your citrus trees, and they really harm your tree. So you have to have one of these. They're expensive. It's like 30 bucks for 3, I think it is, for 3 traps. But if you don't have one, the leaf miners will destroy your tree. It's really hard to grow citrus in Southern California, so anything that helps is worth it. We got a little flower bed that needs more flowers. More insulina plant. Bird bath. This was a Malabar spinach that has gone to seed. And that's my ugly mess of a behind the garage area where I store all my leftover trellises and sticks and crap. And I just planted some flowers and some zinnias and some petunias in those little blocks right there just the other day. This is some broccoli that is starting to bolt. Starting to flower, but it's okay. I'm still going to chop off those heads today and chop off these broccoli heads today and saute these up for dinner today. Broccoli. And this is the snake. Another snake over here that hopefully scares away the rodents. Oh, but eventually when these get pulled out, this is going to be I'm going to use the carrot here as a pointer. This is going to be a berry patch. I got a blackberry right here, and I got another blackberry right here that's starting to sprout right there, and I got one right there, and I got another blackberry right here in a pot. This is a potting blackberry. And look, I got blueberries. Look at the blueberries. Look, this blueberry is starting to turn blue. How exciting! More blueberries. Look at all those blueberries. And I got some zinnias I planted back there in that barrel. More kale right there. Now this, believe it or not, is a celery plant. And this celery plant accidentally came potted with one of my pepper plants when I bought it. A seed must have fallen in the pepper plant, and I just let the celery plant go. And it's given me so much celery. It is ginormous. So we are going to take a peek in here so you can see all the celery stalks. Look at all those celery stalks. And there are no bugs on this thing at all, which I'm really surprised. We've been eating tons of celery. I wish I had a juicer so I can juice all this celery, but I don't. So if anybody has a juicer that doesn't want it, I will gladly take it off your hands. And I have a pot here that I'm going to pot something else in there. I don't know what. I need to buy more soil. I used up all my soil. And I planted some, what did I plant here? Some squashes, some butternut squashes and stuff here, but they have not sprouted. So I might have to sprout them in my heat mats under my lights. Those are some sunflowers that have sprouted there. So that is my garden. Oh, I forgot over here. This is also a tomato plant. This is a Roma tomato plant that is over a year old that I just kept clipping and trimming. And this spring it just sprouted flowers again and came back. And look at all the tomatoes I have on it. Kind of cool, huh? And I really want to grow a lot this year because with everything going on right now, I do not want to have to go to the store for things that I can grow myself. The less time I'm in the store, the better. I also started some more Roma tomatoes right there. It's a zinnia plant right there. My composter right there. And this is a tomato plant. It's a big rainbow tomato, but look, it's not doing too good. So I did pop some seeds in here as well. Hopefully they come up. But I've had an issue starting seeds this year. I started my seeds under grow lights on heat mats. They all germinated and sprouted and they looked great. Once I transplanted them into bigger pots, that's when everything went downhill. We had a lot of fungus gnats because of the weather, and what happens is those little fungus gnats, they lay their eggs in the soil, and then excuse me, their larvae eat the roots of your plants. So I think that's what happened. They just stopped growing. So I couldn't plant them because they would just die. So I just started popping seeds in the ground. So once you plant seeds in the ground, once they sprout, they're already acclimated to your climate and temperature and sunlight, and they do so much better. So if you can plant seeds just by popping them in the ground, that's the best way to go. And that's what I should have done from the beginning, instead of wasting all that time, all the soil, all the energy, starting them under grow lights, and then nothing happened with them after. As you can see over here, with these, I transplanted these ones, and they've stopped growing. These are cantaloupes, and they're done. I'm gonna have to rip them out. I thought maybe they would just come back to life once they were in the ground, and that didn't happen. So now I know the best thing to do is just pop the seeds in the ground directly and just hope for the best. Always plant more seeds than you plan on, just because the chances of one of them making it is so much better. So that's a tour of my little garden. Hopefully you guys like it. It's keeping me busy since there's nothing else to do right now. Oh, this is a fuchsia plant that is starting to produce little flowers. I'm excited. It has beautiful flowers. If you've never seen a fuchsia plant, look it up. This is a giant double-petaled fuchsia that looks like a little dress with little feet coming out of the bottom. It is the cutest little thing. I fell in love with it when I saw it. It was very expensive. But I'm a sucker for flowers. I really am. So, all right, guys. Happy, oh, it's only 11:30. I thought it was later. Happy Sunday. Enjoy your day. Make the most of it. Be productive. And if you haven't yet, get out and grow something. It's so exciting. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.